I wanted too much for my sister wives.
Sister wives. The Brown family has been the subject of many discussions and debates over the years. As viewers, we've watched this polygamous family go through numerous challenges, from internal family struggles to relationships that have shifted and evolved. One of the central figures in this family dynamic is Meri Brown, Kody's first wife. Over the years, Meri has endured emotional neglect, struggled to maintain her marriage, and faced challenges that have ultimately led her to reevaluate what she wants out of life, love, and her relationships. For years, Meri lived in the shadow of her husband Kody and his other wives. She was often overlooked and ignored, putting her needs and desires aside for the sake of family harmony. But as time went on, it became clear that her sacrifices were not being reciprocated, and the marriage she had worked so hard to build was deteriorating. Her emotional and physical needs were never fully met, and it took her a long time to realize that this relationship was no longer serving her. The turning point in Meri's journey came when she became involved in a catfishing scandal in 2015. Seeking comfort and support after years of neglect, Meri turned to the internet, where she formed an online relationship with someone she thought was a man. This person, however, turned out to be a woman posing as a man. This situation, while emotionally painful, ultimately became a catalyst for change in Meri's life. When the truth came out, Meri was forced to confess to Kody and the rest of the family. Kody's reaction was not one of concern or empathy for Meri, but rather one of anger and humiliation. He was angry not because Meri had been hurt, but because her actions challenged his authority. For Meri, this was the breaking point. She had spent so many years trying to make her marriage work, sacrificing her happiness for the sake of her family. But it was becoming clear that Kody was no longer emotionally invested in their relationship. She had tried to hold on, but it was evident that the love she had given had been taken for granted. As a result, Meri made the difficult decision to walk away from the marriage. This was not an easy choice, but it was a necessary one for her well-being and personal growth. Meri's decision to leave Kody and move on was one of empowerment. She no longer felt the need to stay in a relationship that was emotionally draining and unfulfilling. For the first time in years, Meri began to focus on herself. She started to rediscover who she was, what she wanted out of life, and what she deserved in a partner. Meri knew that she was no longer willing to settle for a relationship that required her to compete for affection and attention. She wanted someone who would appreciate her for who she was, and who would encourage her personal growth. In a recent episode of Sister Wives, Meri spoke openly about the qualities she was seeking in her next partner. She expressed that she did not want someone who was a control freak or someone who tried to dominate her. She wanted a partner who would be there for her no matter what, someone who shared her interests and energy level, and most importantly, someone who was not polygamous. Meri was clear about the fact that she wanted a partner who would commit to her exclusively, and she was no longer willing to share a partner with others. Kody, however, was not supportive of Meri's decision to seek out a new partner. In a confessional, he made disparaging remarks about Meri's friends, suggesting that they were the reason she struggled to find love. Kody believed that Meri's friends were a hindrance to her romantic life and implied that in order for her to find happiness, she would have to distance herself from them. His bitterness was evident, and it seemed to reflect his own insecurities about Meri moving on. Meri, however, had a different perspective. She expressed how much her friends, especially Jen Sullivan, had supported her during the most difficult times in her life. Meri made it clear that she would not abandon the relationships that had been a source of loyalty and comfort for her. Her friends had shown her more loyalty than even some of her family members, and she was not about to let go of these meaningful connections. Meri knew that her friends had her best interests at heart, and she valued their unwavering support. Meri continued to move forward in her life. She became more open about her journey of rediscovery. She began dating again, but this time, she was taking things slowly. She acknowledged that her preferred method of dating was through online platforms and through mutual connections. For Meri, the focus was not on rushing into a relationship, but on finding someone who truly resonated with her values and life goals. She was learning to trust her instincts, something she had not done in the past. She had spent so many years doubting herself and allowing other people's opinions to guide her decisions. Now, she was learning to trust her gut and make choices that were best for her. Despite some disappointments along the way, Meri remained optimistic about the future. She had experienced heartbreak and rejection, but she was determined not to let those experiences define her. Instead, she saw them as lessons, reminders that it was okay to take chances, even if they didn't always work out. Meri's journey was no longer just about finding love. It was about rediscovering herself and embracing her independence. She was not in a rush to find the perfect partner. Instead, she was focusing on her own happiness and well-being. Meri's decision to embrace her independence has been empowering. She has finally let go of the relationship that no longer served her and is now focusing on what makes her happy. She has set clear boundaries for herself and is determined not to settle for anything less than what she deserves. Meri knows exactly what she wants in a partner, and she will not compromise her standards for the sake of being in a relationship. She is looking for a companion who can support her goals, share her values, and respect her independence. For Meri, this journey of self-discovery has been long and challenging, but it has also been incredibly rewarding. She has come to realize that she no longer needs the validation of others, especially not from a man who has made it clear that he no longer values her. She is ready to take on the world on her own terms, and she is excited to see what the future holds. Kody, on the other hand, seems to be struggling with the changes in his family dynamic. While Meri is embracing her independence, Kody is left to confront the reality of a family that is no longer united. His polygamous lifestyle, which once seemed like the ideal, has crumbled. The family he envisioned, with multiple wives and children, is now broken, and his relationships with his children have become increasingly strained. As Sister Wives progresses, it is clear that the Brown family is at a crossroads. The dream of a large, happy family living together in harmony has been shattered, and the family members must now navigate their lives in a very different reality. Meri, Janelle, Christine, and the children have all moved on, leaving Kody and Robin to face the fallout of their choices. The future of the Brown family remains uncertain, but for Meri, the future is full of possibilities. She is no longer defined by her past, and she is excited to see where her journey will take her next. Whether it's in her personal life, her career, or her relationships, Meri is ready to embrace the new chapter in her life with confidence and optimism. She has learned valuable lessons from her past, and now she is using those lessons to create a future that is all her own.